Hi, this is Sheree with Rehash Fiber. Today I'm going to teach you how to dye yarn to get the speckled look. Dyeing fiber is so much fun. As a fiber artist, it is really nice to have one of the projects be something you can finish in hours or at most a day. And dyeing is just watching your yarn, your fiber transform into something really beautiful. I'm a very easygoing dyer. I do not go for perfection. I do it for fun. But there are times when I really want something to be very close to a certain way. And so it is good to know how to do that, how to measure and how to get the colors that you want. Now, I am so intrigued when I see yarn that has the speckled look, and I want to share with you how to do it. Now, first of all, if you've never dyed before, you do need some tools. You need pans and something you can strain. It helps to have a spinner so you can spin out the water, your gloves. If you're new to dyeing, you need to keep your supplies separate from anything you would cook with. And then I go ahead and write on them with a Sharpie, fiber only, so that my family members would not accidentally pick something up and use it. And I do store them in the laundry room, not in the kitchen when they're not in use. All right, so to get started with dyeing, I have these skeins of wool that I spun up. I'm going to start them soaking for a couple of hours, just in warm water with just a little bit of soap. This helps open up the fibers so that it will take the dye. If you're going to do speckled dyeing, you need citric acid. I got this from Amazon. So it's helpful to have this before you get started. Also, your dyes. I get all my dyes from Dharma Dyes. I know there are different companies. I just speak with what I know. All right, I'm going to get these soaking, and then we'll show you what to do next. My skein of yarn has been soaking for a while. I said 2 hours earlier. It's just whatever you want. I just stick it in the water first thing in the morning when I know I'm going to dye, and then I come back to it later. Okay, because we're doing speckles, I'm wringing out as much water as possible, because what I don't want is for this to be sopping wet, and if I put a speckle on there, that it runs too much, okay? It's gonna run a little bit. I don't want it running like crazy, and that is why there's no water in the pan. So we're gonna lay it out like this, and we are going to gently sprinkle some sprinkles on the yarn. There are 6 different bright colors that I picked out. I want to make this yarn look like confetti and have all those fun colors in it. So we have a variety from like golden poppy, a shade of blue, plum, sour apple, magenta. So it's going to be fun. Now, I'm going to show you what I did. I prepared 5 of the colors, but I'm going to show you what I did. Because we're sprinkling it on and there's not a whole lot, there's just 1 skein there. I do just the tip of the spoon with dye, because a little dye goes a long way. I have a separate spoon for each color because I don't want to mix them up. Now what you need for sprinkling is citric acid. You're going to mix that with the dye. Then we sprinkle this on like powder. So I do the same amount of the citric acid as I did the dye. And then I just mix it up really good. The citric acid is what is needed to help the dye adhere to the fiber. I don't have the heat on the pan yet. I have this slightly damp skein of yarn. Now what I'm going to do is I just take my dye that's mixed with the citric acid, and just a little bit. You want to be very light-handed with this, because what I end up doing sometimes accidentally is bumping it and putting a whole bunch in one area. And if that happens, it's still okay because this unravels and then it's not like it's a solid area. It's just a bigger chunk than planned. So we're gonna do just a little bit more, but I'm gonna try to be very light-handed. And you see, just tap it and let a couple sprinkles fall down. Woo! There we go. It's gotta be a little really gentle. You can see some of it's hard. Isn't that fun? Just watching it come on. You can always make up more of the dye citric acid mixture. I just did a little because there's so many colors going on. It's very fun. All right, so you see how gentle that is? And you get the idea. So I put all the Tangelo on this one side. I'm gonna move this around just a little bit so that the next color will go in places where the Tangelo isn't. See the second color a little heavy in some places, but it's okay because it unwinds. So I'm just looking for more white so that I can add color to an area that doesn't have it. The citric acid is what helps keep it right where it is. Where, say the other way, if we were just dyeing this all one color, this would already be a bath full of water and vinegar, white vinegar, and then it would just be like a whole dye bath. But here we're doing it individually and we want it to stick in those places. So that's why the citric acid granules goes right with the dye. I only have 4 of the colors on right now out of the 6 total that I have. But I'm gonna flip it because I need more white spots. And you know what? There's no rules to this. Just do what you like. And you can see where it's spread out in some places and I got heavy-handed in some other places. But it's okay because we're gonna have a confetti colored skein of yarn. I have all the colors on that I prepared and I'm just looking for spots that could use more color or more of a different color. But it's looking good to me. It looks like a whole lot of fun and that's a confetti blast for sure. I don't think I'm gonna add any more just because I don't wanna do too much. So we're gonna go with that. All right, now what we do is you have to heat it up. And we're gonna add a little bit of water to the pan. We don't wanna add so much that it smears the colors together. However, some of that may happen, but we're just gonna put this on warm. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water just so that the fiber doesn't burn on this pan. Okay. With this, having so little water in it, I'm gonna let it get warm, but I'm gonna stand by and keep an eye on this for sure. Also, what I'm gonna do is turn it from warm to off, back and forth, so that it stays warm in there, but doesn't get too hot. I'd only had it on warm for not even a minute or 2, and it already, of course, the fiber sucked up that water, and I see the moisture in here and it's hot, so I turn it off, and I'm just letting it sit in that warmth so that it can take effect. And we'll check it in a little bit. All right, it hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. Let's see what's going on in here. Yeah, see the colors did run where the water was. I am just going to let this sit here a bit longer and add a little more heat. Don't want to add more water because I don't want it to run even more. Yeah, kind of mushed on the backside, but I think it's really pretty. So it's been sitting here for about 25-30 minutes. I switched it from warm to off and just let the steam be in it. Didn't want to hurt the fiber. All right, I love the way it looks on this side. And it got a little mushed on the other side, but I still really like it. What a colorful skein. So I hope it's sat long enough that it doesn't rinse out. Let's find out. Interesting, the blue is running out, but the other colors I don't see too much of. Okay, so blue is gonna be getting lighter. Fine by me. As long as we weren't losing them all. Here's the skein of yarn. So much fun, so pretty, very interesting. Check out all those colors. I want you to know that you can put the granules on the yarn any way you want to. I showed you the spoon method, tapping it. You can put it on there with your fingers. You could use a strainer and tap it, or anything else creative you think of. I just showed you one way. And it's just nice to have a skein of yarn that is unique. So, happy speckle dyeing, and thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this programming, I invite you to become a Patreon member. For as little as $3 a month, you help with all the production costs and keeping the show going. And there's some little extras there if you become a member, which we call the Rehash Fiber Tribe. So you can find that at my website, rehashfiber.com, under supporting members. And another way you can help out with the show is merchandise. That too is on my website. We have all variations of my logo, and also there is the Got Kivute t-shirt, or you can put Got Kivute on anything you would like. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this show, and we'll see you soon.